Hey everyone, it's good to see you guys. I'm really excited. We have a special guest for the community today. His name is Alex Cormont. He is Europe's #1 dating coach, and he's dedicated his life to helping men, women overcome some of their most difficult periods of their lives, whether it be dealing with separation, lack of self-confidence, or infidelity. He has over 150 million views on YouTube. He's written best-selling books on Amazon. He's hosted conferences worldwide and has been featured in Elle Magazine, Huffington Post, and other major news outlets. Alex, I'm so excited for this interview, man. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks so much, Jared. Thanks so much, Laura, also. And hi to everyone. I'm really happy to be here. I hope you can understand my French accent, but I think we spend a good time together.
Yeah, it sounds great, man. It sounds great. So whenever Laura and I do these conversations or these interviews, that's how we like to do it. We kind of just like it to keep it very conversational and just make it an exploratory conversation.
Good. I'm happy to be here.
Cool. Laura, do you want to open up with the first question?
Yes, I would love to open up with the first question because we talk about relationships and we talk about relationships from a more conscious or more awakened state. So that's kind of the community that we reach out to. Honoring and loving yourself before you can love another person, being totally happy and good as you are without needing that completion of another person. How often do you see that? And do you think that what would your advice be to kind of change that for people? How would you help someone who feels they need to be with someone because they don't quite know how to be on their own?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Laura. So basically, before to be a relationship expert, I used to be codependent. So I was always loving way too much that person and waiting for that person to make me feel happy. And I just realized that it was a wrong pattern. So first, I want to say to everyone that it's normal to be codependent or to love someone so much because this is the way we were taught about love. We received the education of if you want to be happy, you have to give everything to that person and sometimes forget about yourself. Now, myself, I just decided that during 1 year, I will not have any relationship. No sex, no attraction, no relationship. And I found after 1 year that I was really happy within myself. Also to spend time with my parents, with my brother, with my friends. I don't recommend everyone to do 1 year without relationship, but I want to say, and I want to tell to everyone that today you can have the relationship you want and the life you want without being too needy or too available in the relationship. So first of all, we have to accept this idea of love is start with loving ourselves. Another advice would be to make sure that they know what they want. So sometimes, guys, what we want to do is like, okay, I want to be in a relationship. Why? What are you expecting from your partner? What are you bringing on the table for this relationship? If you start by doing this introspection, you will know exactly what you want and what you don't want. Because this is something, I'm coaching a lot of people. Most of the time, they are too needy. They are just going into a relationship and having the hope that their partner will be perfect without saying anything because they are scared to lose their partner. So it's really important to set some boundaries sometimes. So my first advice would be basically to accept this situation, to understand that it's not your fault, and then to work on yourself to define exactly what do you want and what will you be able to bring into the table. What do you think, guys? I feel that this is something that will help people to be more aware and not codependent, basically.
Yeah, and I'm excited to get into the next question, but like I always think of interdependence and codependence, and I know for me, like it was probably about 3.5 years ago, I didn't realize I was codependent, and I didn't realize I was actually afraid to spend time alone with myself. And then I was forced to spend time alone with myself, and I kind of found that sense of self-love. And once I found that sense of self-love, I was like, oh, wait, I can fill up my own cup and I feel really good within my own being. But then if I can fill my own cup up, it's like, well, do I really need a relationship? And Laura and I have been playing with this idea of, once you feel good within yourself, it's like you can define a standard for what you want in a relationship, and then if that other person magnifies those really good feelings that you have, then like that's what makes a relationship worthwhile. I don't know. Does that make sense how I shared that?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
And I think that it's something that we have to learn. Sorry, Laura, I just cut you, but this is what I understood with my mission as a relationship expert is we have to learn this journey of being confident, knowing what we want in a relationship. It's not easy. It's not normal. It's something that we have to learn. It's a process, basically.
Yeah. Do you think that people are programmed to, because I love what you said about what can I bring to a relationship and what value can that person actually bring? Do you think that there's a level of people, there's like this thing where we think we're supposed to be in a relationship, like we think we're supposed to get married, we think we're supposed to have children and do the whole family thing. Do you think that there's kind of an area where people are just kind of looking for a relationship because they, even if they don't know that they want one, they just think that that's supposed to be where they're at? Because I think I went through that phase where I was like, well, hang on a minute. Why am I even dating? What do I even want from these relationships? Because they're not actually bringing any value to me. No more value than I was bringing to myself. So if I was dating someone, they have to be free and spontaneous like me and just a bit crazy because I need crazy in my life. So it's like, do you think that some people just follow the suit of like, well, I suppose I should meet someone, and then they didn't actually think, why do I actually want this?
Yes. Unfortunately, I have to respond of yes. Basically, some people, they will think that if they're not in a relationship, they're missing something in their life.
Yeah.
If I look in my past relationships, when I was a teenager, I just feel that being in a relationship was a social status. When you are single, people are, oh, you are single? Why are you single? So we question people that are single, not the people that are, oh, why are you in a relationship, basically? So I feel that it's good to show that we are in a relationship. If not, we are weird, we are bad, and so we will take a lot of negative emotions and negative thoughts in our mind. So I feel that today, a lot of people are in a relationship, but they are not happy. First, they don't know why they are in a relationship.
Yeah.
And also, they are in this relationship, but they don't know what do they really want. And also just how to build this relationship in the best way. But the question, I think just for me, it was, oh, I want to be in a relationship because I don't want people to make fun of me. And when you like enter this pattern, you're just doing the same mistakes over and over and over and over. Even if you think that you're right, because you're listening to Hollywood, to Walt Disney, to the society, you think that you're doing the right actions, but basically you're not fulfilled, you're not happy. So yeah, I don't know what you think about that, but for me it was social status basically to show, I have a girlfriend.
Totally. Jared and I talk about, like you think about Walt Disney, and like we talk about the movies and how it's shown the dramatic story of like they got together in the end, and you think, Jesus God, like it doesn't have to be like that. That no one needs to prove anything or fight for anyone. Like when you just are, you bring someone in that just is, and it kind of right. It just becomes something.
Well, Laura, I love what you said there. You used a great word. You used like fulfillment. Like I think that's really what gives you the most fulfillment. For some people, that fulfillment can be self-given, and for some people, maybe they can be more fulfilled if they're a relationship. Like maybe they're already fulfilled within themselves, and then being fulfilled within yourself, it's like, oh, I don't need anything. But does this relationship, if I get in a relationship with this person, do they make me feel even better on the inside? Am I even more fulfilled if that's possible?
Yes, that's very important.
Actually, that leads to a good question that Jared and I were talking about yesterday. Do you want to bring this? Do you know what I'm going to ask, Jared?
I don't, Laura.
Like you're doing telepathy.
No, we talked about this yesterday, the magnifier. And this was... do you want to ask? Because
that's all you. It's all you. Yeah.
This was genius. Like this is what he said. This wasn't me. I don't take no credit for this. But we had this conversation and like we're happy on our own, we do our own thing. And when you're not happy in yourself, that person that you're with is going to be a magnifier. They're going to be a mirror to you, and anything that you've got that you need to work on, they're going to show that to you, right, into your face. But if you're happy and if you're fulfilled, my question to Jared yesterday was like, well, then why would I need a relationship? And Jared's answer was, because that person would magnify you. So if you're already happy and joyful, surely you'd bring in someone that's going to kind of amplify that. And if you already feel amazing on your own, surely that person would times that by 1,000. Did I give that? Did I say that right? Did I give that the does that make sense? Like
yeah, sure.
Amplify it if you're already good.
Yes. So I love this idea, because that's real. We have to be happy on our own world, own hands. We have to live with purpose. And I was watching both of YouTube channel, and I know that you're giving like good advice for personal development, and I love it. I just realized that now with this virus around us, we need social connection. This world is like difficult today. It's becoming a while now that we are in quarantine, and I just realized that we need connection. And I feel that I will say the same thing of you. For me, it's really our life will be the cake, and the relationship will be the cherry on the cake. It's just the little top that is just crazy, so good. But if you don't do your own cake, oh my God, you will suffer. You will suffer with toxic relationship, narcissist people, always asking and seeking for validation. No, this is not and this is why we need to do the inner work first. Once we are happy, the cherry on the cake is really just so good, because it's good to have a partner in crime. It's good to socialize with people, not just by relationship. It could be to have friends and family, but it's good to have social links. I feel so.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great metaphor. I'm kind of thinking about cake now.
Chocolate cake.
Alex, can we talk about what you think is the difference between like codependency and then interdependency? Like I think we all have a good understanding, and our communities, I think, have a good understanding of what a codependent relationship is. What do you think an interdependent relationship would look like?
So basically, I would feel that for me, the codependency is really about my goals are only to make someone else happy. So my dreams rely on someone else, And just to make sure the inner dependency is when you cannot spend time with like by yourself, right? When you need to have social relationship. Is it the inner dependency, you mean? Okay. So inner dependency, if you cannot spend time with other people, it's because you seek validation. So you will always try to make sure that people loves you, likes you, and you will try to please them. The thing is, when you do that, you lose your personality. So you're not yourself. You're always trying to be what someone else wants. But I realized something with my job. I love to say that human being, we don't know what we want. We just discover things, but we don't know before. Before, to eat my favorite meal, I didn't know it was my favorite food and meal. So basically, if you just try to please someone and you're not confident within yourself, your relationship will always be difficult. You will always run after something that you cannot have. And this is difficult for me. That will be the inner dependency relationship that I can see, if I understood.
Yeah. Well, you can go, Laura.
Do you think that's why people, when they are in a relationship that's not that great anymore, do you think that's why they feel they can't get out of the relationship, because they don't quite know who they are anymore or what their desires are for themselves? They only know the relationship.
And also, I would say that they have the fear to be by themselves. They have the fear to be single. Because when you are by yourself, you have to build your own life. You have to set your goals. You have to set your dreams. You have to wake up every single day for something that you have to build. But when you are in a relationship, there is a sense of, okay, I can rely on my partner. The problem is, you know that you're not happy. Your partner, you know, he will not or she will not be happy. And there is something wrong. So we're just pushing back the problems, and it will come back like a boomerang, it will come back stronger and bigger. So I feel it's a work that we all have to do now. And I just want to say something, because the reason why I'm doing this mission or job as a relationship expert, it's because I lost my father. I lost my father in like 9 years ago now, and I was the coach, and this changed completely my philosophy. And I realized something: I have to lose my father to understand love, to be a better boyfriend, better man, better son to my mother. And it's crazy how human being, we wait for being in a difficult position to change. While today, I realize that there is NLP, there is tappings, there is coaching, there is hypnosis, all of these tools that can just change your life. So I want to share this to the world so people know that they don't have to wait for a bad event or a trauma to change.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, I know heart. One of the things that Laura and I talk about is anytime that we face trauma, like big traumas, whether it's a death or something like this, it's heartbreak, but heartbreak actually opens up our hearts on a deeper level. Like sometimes heartbreak is like, it's actually opening our heart up more to the world. I know for me, I had I did 2 combat deployments to Afghanistan when I was very young, and I witnessed death at a very young age. And what that did was it broke my heart open. And when I broke my heart open, it was suddenly like, I mean, it sounds like you had a similar experience, Alex, when you lost your father. It's like when you lose someone who's really close to you, suddenly it makes you question your life's journey, how you want to help other people. And it really gets you clear about, you want to get really clear about how you want to show up in the world and how you want to serve humanity. But you don't have to have those experiences in order to start really living passionately or living purposefully.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks so much, Jared. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the choice piece. Do you think suddenly you're not choosing it, and then suddenly you have no choice but to choose it? So is that, so why would you say people do that? I mean, I've experienced that. I'm an Aries, so I go from one extreme to the next, like waiting for the, how would you advise someone to make the choices that are right for them and not waiting for it to get really bad before? Why do you think people even do that? Why aren't they choosing it?
I fear that, I can just talk about my personal experience, but I fear that we are stuck in a pattern. So we are doing things that we think are the right, okay? So even if it's not about love, you have to find a job, you have to have a good salary. But what happens if you're an artist? What happens if you're an athlete? What happens if you're an entrepreneur? So I just fear that we put people in some case, and you have to do it and that's it. So we do it because we are taught to do it. Even if like inside us, we know there is something wrong, but no, we cannot listen to us. And for me, I was just, okay, I went to school. I had a master's degree in human sciences. And this didn't teach me how to be confident, didn't teach me how to use my brain and emotion. I had to study NLP, which is like something that I really love. I have to study coaching and understand the mechanism. So I just feel that we didn't receive the right education. So maybe it's a little bit what I'm saying, but nobody came and told me like, okay, this is what you have to behave. If you want to trust yourself, follow your intuition, know your values. This word values, I learned it like 10 years ago, but I should have learned it like right when I was born, because this is what leads you to make decision in your life. So we need this alternative education, I feel.
I love that. Yeah, Laura and I always rave. Well, I don't know. I think you rave about this. I don't want to project, but I know I at least always rave about like emotional intelligence and how we're not taught or educated how to understand ourselves in the school system. We're not taught anything about understanding our values and how if we're not living in accordance with our values, then we're going to get upset and angry. Like we're not taught emotional intelligence. We're taught like science, technology, engineering, math, but we're never taught those core things that make us like who we are as human beings. We have to learn it by experience. And I think that's what a lot of people do is they kind of just live life, and until something really big happens, like a death in the family or something traumatic, like we kind of just do the programming, like societal programming, until something smacks us out of it and says like, hey, you're not doing something right here. There's like a better way to do things.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
People live with it's a cycle. It's like they're asleep.
Yeah. It's just a pattern, like running a pattern over and over and over again until you question the pattern. Like, hey, why am I on this hamster wheel? I don't like this hamster wheel. This doesn't feel good. Maybe there's something more to life than just doing this.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with relationships. Like sometimes it really just takes pain. Like sometimes it just takes us, something isn't working. I'm not happy in this relationship. What do I need to do differently to feel more fulfilled?
Yeah, and this question, what do I need to do differently, is very important, because most of the people that I coach, they are doing the same mistake over and over and again and again. So no, it's not possible. We have to ask ourselves, okay, what did I do wrong? What did I accept that was not a good idea? Because sometimes we accept people to, talk down to us or just raise their hand. No, this is not possible. We have also to understand that in relationship, it's very important to know what you will never accept again. I feel this will change, our behavior. But I love this question is like, okay, what should I do differently? This differently is very important word.
Yeah.
Yeah. People go in cycles, and I have so many clients that have the same thing, and they're like, Laura, I'm stuck. And I say, but you keep making the same decisions. You need to make a different decision and start, right? Because it's like, I don't understand. And I'm like, well, if you just, it starts a whole different pattern, and it's like waking yourself up before and doing it in a way where you don't have to wait for it to get really bad, realizing that something is off. Because people know when something's off, they just don't do anything about it.
Right. Yeah. I have this thing called the toleration list, and I'll sometimes give that to my clients, and I say, what are you tolerating that you're no longer willing to tolerate anymore? Sometimes it's in a relationship, sometimes it's in their business. I do more transformational coaching, so it's like whatever I like. If I want to do relationship stuff, sometimes I'll do that. If I want to do business stuff, sometimes I'll do that. And the toleration list, I think, is really helpful because it allows people to see in their life what they've tolerated up to a certain point. And because eventually it's just like, oh, wait, I'm not going to tolerate this type of thing in my life anymore. I just can't do it. It's just too painful.
It's very important. And I feel, when you do that, they will stop having the hope. Yeah, but maybe it will change. No, you need to not tolerate this, okay? In love, it's always like this. Yes, but Alex, in the beginning of the relationship, he was a nice guy or he was a nice girl. But now this or he or she is becoming a bad person. So you have to be careful. There is things that you cannot tolerate because of the past. So it's very important to not find excuses also to ourselves, because this leads to, in love, toxic relationship. There is a lot of toxic relationship in today's world. I'm really surprised of this,
Yeah. Can you go more into that? Because we talk about that a lot and it's so helpful. So we would love you to just talk about, like we talk about falling in love with hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason why we fall in love with hope or for hope, it's because we will listen to words. But basically, male or female, we can manipulate everyone with words. I love you. I've never felt like this for anyone else. I will come and travel the world for you. But they don't do the actions. So we fall in love with hope and with words. No, it's time now to make sure that if you want to fight the toxic people, look at their words and actions. This needs to match. If it's not the case, there is something wrong. Also, something that I found about toxic people, they are always in love in the beginning. They are really showing up in the beginning. They are giving you this image of Walt Disney. We were talking about movies, right? But after a couple of weeks, everything disappears. So we stay with these people for two reasons. Number one, the hope that they will come back as a good person, and also because we invested time, money, energy. I don't want to restart from scratch. you will have to do it because it's important to leave toxic people. So if you stay because you invested, I don't know, time, money, as I said, or energy in the relationship, this is not a good reason. You need to just restart from zero, take a little step back, and make sure that these people will fight for you, or you will have to move on. That's something very important. But doing this work as a relationship expert, I've just realized myself that we are in a world, because my parents was wonderful. I had two parents that were really giving love to their kids. And when I became a relationship expert, I'd experienced that women were like sexually, there's like sexual violence, same for like physical violence. And I just realized that we live in a world where we need to protect ourselves. And this is why I'm doing all of these videos, trying to do my best for the community, because staying in a toxic relationship is a bad decision. You need to leave. Very
Yeah,
important.
absolutely. And that's what I've noticed is it's like people stay in it, like you said, because of the hope, but then it's a bias in psychology that they call the sunk cost bias. And people do it in business as well too. They keep investing money in something that they know no longer works because they invested their energy into it. And at some point, like, you have to just let go of the quote unquote hope or living into the idea and just see the person for who they are. And that's like, what's their pattern showing to me? I always look at patterns. I don't look at just actions and words. I always look at what's really the pattern here. And I think as you just go on, and at least this has been my experience, as I've experienced life more and more, you kind of get an understanding of people's patterns right off the bat. Like, you can almost just see it in their energy. Like, they might put a strong foot forward, and then like, I always get like, if people put too much forward, I get skeptical now. I'm like, are you going to be able to make that in the back? Like, I really say that. We were talking to Mark the other day, and Mark, he said that some similar idea where people usually put their best foot forward. And I told him, I was like, Mark, now in relationship, like, I'm just going to put everything. Like, I put everything forward, like right off the bat, like first date, like, hey, here's the shit that I'm still working on. Here's the fullness of who I am. And how does that sound to you? Like, let's just, like, I don't have time. I respect my own time. I respect your time. Like, here's the good, bad, and ugly. I'll give you the whole thing. And if you find this overwhelming, that's fine. We're probably not the right fit for each other.
This is a good strategy. Does it work? Is that right?
Still, I'm single, but I have no problem being single. Like, that's what I realized. I was like, oh, you know what? I feel really good being single. So, like, if anything comes into my life where, like, if I show up 100% is who I really am, good, bad, and ugly. If they're like, okay, yeah, cool, I can jive with that. But if they find it overwhelming, it's like, okay. So I don't know if it's a good strategy yet or not. I mean, it seems like it's a good strategy to live, but to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, if you want one, I don't know.
I think, I mean, I had to learn the cycle of people's words and actions through my last relationship. He would say the most amazing things, and then nothing's changed, nothing's different, and none of the plans that we had or he wanted to have had happened. And the funny thing is that when I learned that, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, words and actions, two separate things. The good thing about realizing it, and I think everyone needs to remember this, we can't get out of prison unless we know we're in prison. So as soon as I realized it, I was like, oh, okay. And then when I did date, and then when I was, seeing people, I would listen to what they would say, but really I was just tapping into like, okay, you said that. Like, I remember I had one date, the smallest remark, he said to me, I hate sugar. I hate it. I loathe sugar. And I was like, well, fair enough. That's cool. The next time I saw him, he said, oh, I ate a whole bucket of Skittles. And I thought, okay, so you hate sugar, you told me you hate sugar, and then you ingest it like the most extreme levels. And something as small as that, it's like these people, they say things, but are they following it through? And I have so many people, I'd love you to go into this even deeper if you want to, because I have so many clients still that are waiting and hoping, because I mainly work with women, but these men are like, I'm going to leave my wife for you. I'm going to come be with you. I'm going to move across the world for you. And I say to them, it's been 2 years. What's he actually doing? And they
Right.
and I'm like, well, what? And they're waiting in hope that they're going to get swept off their feet. And it actually really upsets me to see that. I don't like seeing that.
Yeah, it's very, very, very sad, and it's happened a lot also for me. As you said, sometimes they will say words, basically. They want to keep this lady aside and they have their own life on the other side. But this is just, they know how to manipulate people. That sounds crazy to say that, but it's real.
Yeah.
So if you listen to this video, please make sure that you will stop listening to their words and just be looking at their action. They need to be consistent, as you said, Jared. It's very important to look at the pattern, because sometimes they do mistake and they just apologize, but it will become also a pattern. They can do whatever they want and just apologize. No, you need to set some boundaries. It's something very, very important. And nobody received this advice about love. We always receive the advice of, yeah, but if you love each other, it's okay. No, sometimes it's good to set some boundaries to make sure that the relationship will be stronger. It's good to do it. I feel so.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go, Laura.
No, I was just going to say, when do you think how would you advise someone that they need to set the boundaries? What signs can people look for that they need to absolutely set boundaries in a relationship?
I feel that we need to set boundaries when we feel that there is something wrong. We need to set boundaries when we feel that we want to say something. But what happened is this: we met someone, and because we don't fall in love often, what will happen when we like someone? Okay, but I don't want to push him or push her away. I don't want to scare him. I don't want to scare her. So I will not say anything. And by not saying anything, it will become worse and worse. So when you feel something, trust yourself to be in a positive communication. I like you. I like the time we spend together, but sometimes you're late and it just bother me. It just bothered me. Just a quick things like this. I prefer you to be on time. Something easy, simple, without being too fighting, but I feel that it can help. If you wait and wait and wait and wait, what will happen? Nothing. When I say nothing, it's nothing.
Yeah. And we've been talking about some of John Gottman's research. I'm sure you're very familiar with it, and it's interesting because he says that most couples, the most successful ones, they'll go into those potentially conflictive situations, but if they do it with a good intention and a good sense of wanting to make the relationship better, then they'll speak their truth and they'll come out of it and have a stronger bond, because conflict, when it's healthy conflict, when it's done the right way, when we communicate what it is that we truly want or desire or need, even if it creates a little bit of conflict or tension, the relationship is actually stronger because there's more trust. There's more, and there's actually more security. Like anytime that I've started feeling anxious and was like, man, why am I feeling anxious? And then I'm like, oh, I need to communicate this. And then I communicate it. I actually feel more relaxed because I communicated my truth. And then the relationship, you learn to trust that the relationship can take those challenging times and can take those potentially conflictive moments.
Yeah, it's something very, very, very important. And you know what? I feel that it's like kids. If you tell your kids to do whatever they want, they will burn the house. But if you set some boundaries, everything will be fine after that, So it's the same for relationship. And we have to also release the bad emotions. If not, sometimes that's something that I've seen, because I coach a lot of women too, Laura, and sometimes they don't say anything. They keep it. And for nothing, they will just explode and share all of their emotions. Yeah, they will explode at this moment. No, it's not a good idea to do it.
What the fine line is, because I also have other clients who are really good at communicating. They're like stars. They really know how to communicate what's on their heart and what's bothering them. But there also becomes a cycle where they're consistently working on their relationship. There's consistently something that they have to say or that isn't right. And to me, when I look onto it, I think, well, the relationship isn't actually the right one for you, because there should be a balance. Like, it's great, like you should be able to communicate. But then if you're constantly being like, babe, this hurts me, can you not do this? Then it's like, it's two people that aren't maybe compatible. So what would you say is the fine line between they've got their boundary and then, okay, there's consistent boundaries having to put up and consistent communication needing to happen, and there's no fun or passion or lightness in the relationship, right? Because there's that piece of it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I would make a difference between when someone is doing something and when someone is part of your own personality. So, for example, if I don't like your behavior, it's not the same that if I don't like your personality, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I will make the difference. I don't like that you're sometimes late, but if I tell you you're not funny, then I'm attacking you, you know, your own personality. And I feel that this is like the boundary. Like if you cross the line, it would become kind of a reproach, you know, that I'm seeing some flaws in you that you cannot maybe change because it's part of you, who you are. So that would be like the difference. I'm okay to solve some situation, but if we have to just make sure that, I don't like who you are, then you have to change the partner, of course. The other thing that I'm really working with my client is, do you have the same vision? Do you know where both of you want to go? Because if someone wants to travel the world, the other one wants to build a family, maybe the goals are not aligned. And that's where you don't know if you are compatible or not. You can love someone, but don't be compatible because you don't have the same goals, you know? Yeah. So I feel these are the two things I would look at it. Like, is it part of your personality, or is it just something that you can work, a situational, you know, reproach? Or is it like, and also, do you have the same goals, vision? If not, then I feel that it's maybe not sometimes a good idea, even if you love yourself, each other, it's not sometimes a good idea to be in a relationship.
Yeah, I love that. There's so many C's that are coming up to mind here to summarize. It's like the difference between compatibility and chemistry. I think I hear that talked about a lot.
Yeah.
You can have great chemistry and passion, but the compatibility might not be there. And it's important not to mistake the two or get the wires crossed. And then I think the other thing you mentioned that I really liked, Alex, was not attacking their character. Like sometimes people will criticize their character as opposed to just talk about the behavior. Like you can complain about the behavior or share what you want about the behavior, but don't go after the character. And that's more of a communication style. And sometimes I know I've seen relationships and have coached people in relationships where they're like, he gets so mad, but I don't understand why. And I was like, well, I kind of do. You attacked his character. And they're like, well, what does that mean? You know? Yeah. Well, beautiful. Alex, are you okay to take some questions from the audience?
Sure, of course. I'm here for that.
Awesome, man. So I'm going to go to Mariana's question here first. She says, hi, guys. So glad to see you again. Does codependency have to do with attachment styles?
For me, I will say yes. For me, it's almost the same. So maybe it will not be like the response of someone that is really American. I mean, I'm still French, so I'm still learning English. But I would say that codependency and attachment styles are the same. It's basically that you love that person so much that you can lose yourself. Mm-hmm. And the work on the deep yourself is very important to make sure that you're happy within yourself. And as I said, the cherry on the cake, meaning the relationship will be the little sparks, I would say.
Yeah. I think there's avoidant and anxious and secure. And then I think there's one more, but I know for me, I was an avoidant attachment style, and I would always attract these really anxious women, and I would be like, get away from me, get away. And then they would try to cling. And, I didn't even know that I had an avoidant attachment style until, probably about two years ago. And then once I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm avoiding a lot of relationships and just overworking.
Yeah, this is very good.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Laura?
No. I was just going to say, because I know that you and I have had conversations like that before, but with the codependency thing, I think it's so important that people look at why that's there. In my experience, I used to be really codependent, but it was because I didn't want to be abandoned.
Yeah.
I hated it. I mean, now I don't. It's different, but it took me a lot of time to really heal that. I'm spending a few years on my own. But I think with codependency, or attachment, it's usually because we don't want to be left, we don't want to be abandoned. But when we heal that within ourselves, people can kind of come and go into your life as they please, and you're good. I think that you can't stop life, you can't control other people. All you can do is control how you feel and yourself. And so if you're good, then everyone around you can do what they need to do, and you can figure out where you fit in with those people. So yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I'm going to go to Sarah's question here. Sarah says, what does a healthy, balanced relationship look like for early dating? Do people still court women and date to get to know each other? I'm newly single.
Well, that's a good question, Sarah. I feel that, today we put a lot of pressure on ourselves in the process of being in a relationship. So do people still court women? I would say yes. But there is something that I found very important, ladies, because I coach a lot of women. Most of the time, you will just focus on one man and you will start being in a relationship too early. You need to make sure that you will be in a process of attraction each other. So the rule that I'm giving to the people I coach is simple. Every date needs to be an experience. You have to go for a run, to do some yoga, to just do some good positive experience, going to a concert, just live the moment. Before to be in a relationship, you really have to understand who is this guy, what does he want in his life, why is he single? Just try to understand a little bit of him, because if not, you will let your emotions win. And this means that you will go and fall into the relationship so fast that the foundation will not be stable. So I feel there is still the courtship, it's still on, but it's a balance. Now it's a ping pong. Women has to also just create some emotions inside this guy that they are dating, and this is by you just trying to do every time a new activity with someone you're dating. Doesn't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, because you get to know someone more when you're in an environment, right? When there's things around. Like I always pay attention to how they speak to the waitress or how they are with their friends and family. Like, so that's a good idea. I'm going to remember.
Thank you.
Rather than sitting across the table when someone's on their best behavior and saying all the right things, rather than see what your actions are when we're out and about in the world. That's really good.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Samira's question here now. Samira says, after looking at patterns, how do you leave someone or potentially make it better after 13 years and multiple children? Whew, I commend you, Samira. That's a brave question given your situation.
Yeah, it is. So I have coached a lot of people that were in a relationship, broke up, trying to get back together. And I truly believe that it's possible to just get back with someone we love when we put the work on ourselves, for you and for your partner also. So let's try to make it better and not try to leave the relationship. But when I hear to make it better, for me, it's all about changing the pattern. And Laura said that very well. You have to do new activities. Just try something new, not with your partner first, but for yourself. So you will leave him the kids and do whatever you do. You want to learn salsa? Let's do it. You want to go out and just do shopping? Let's do it. Try to do something that you love. But when you will find some activities that he wants to do with you, this is where you will be able to maintain and just recreate the spark and the love between you two. But I feel that after 13 years, you're maybe into the routine. And this is why, by being happy, you will attract him again, because it will be, oh, damn, she's looking good. She's always smiling. She's taking care and taking time for herself. I want to spend time with my wife then.
Yeah.
And not just take it for granted. I don't know, Jared and Laura, what do you think?
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think human beings are naturally attracted to things, people that are happy, high emotion. Like that's naturally where we go. And I think what I've seen in relationship dynamics, and I can see this even in my own life, when we start to get a better feeling being around someone else, sometimes we can misattribute that good feeling to the other person. And then we actually get addicted to the feeling that we think that other person gives us. And so it's really just about keeping and maintaining, I think, that good feeling within us. And once we keep and maintain that good feeling within ourselves, naturally, that's going to be reflected, I think, in our relationships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
have you noticed this pattern? I don't know if you guys have had this. I know I have. Is that you break up with someone and you miss them and you want to be with them for however long it takes, a week, a month, whatever. And then finally, as soon as you're over it and you're like, I'm good and I'm living my life and I'm happy, then you get that text like, oh, yeah, I know you do. And then that's when people get confused. It's like, but I'm over it. And it's more that they found themselves again. And it's keeping that energy in the relationship. Doing what Yeah,
it's so important. And it's so funny that because we say that ex people always come back, and I feel that we can feel when someone is just still attached and when someone is just moving on, and we don't want that person to move on. We want to secure like this new relationship or old relationship. It's a little bit of ego, I feel so. And it's funny what you say.
Laura, I love what you said there about just keeping that energy in the relationship. Like I've never really thought of it that way, but that's actually really cool. It's like, that's probably why you get that text from your ex, is because that's definitely been the pattern for me. Like every time I've ever broken up with someone or someone's broken up with me, and then I suddenly start to feel good. That's exactly when I get like that test again. It's almost like the universe is testing you. Like, sure, you want to go back to that, dangling the carrot right above.
Yeah. But we need that, like, you know, Alex, you're talking about the circle. You got it's like, I mean, Jared and I talk about this. The universe does. It kind of goes, are you sure you don't want the same patterns? And as soon as you say, no, I'm really good, then a whole new dynamic and your whole life starts shifting. It's kind of like, okay, I don't think I want that. But until we actually have the experience where it's right there in front of you. And I had this recently with my ex coming back and saying, whenever you're ready to be with me, I'm here ready, waiting to be with you. And I was like, damn it, I can't do it. I'm over it. I can't do it. I found myself. I can't. But as soon as you say no to that, like
everything changed.
Yeah. We have loads of coming up, by the way.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. Yeah. Alex, do you mind if I ask one more question here and then we'll take one more from the audience? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's okay with me. Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I love the point that Laura just brought up about, you know, dangling the carrot and then seeing it's like, do I want to go back to this relationship? Do you think, and I'm really excited because this is a great exploratory question. Do you think, let's say you've created that good feeling again within yourself, and then you get your ex to reach back out to you, and you face the situation that Laura did where it's like, are you sure you want to go back to this relationship in that pattern? Do you think in that moment you could say to your ex, I don't want the relationship that we had, but I would like to redefine the relationship and try it in a new way. And if we do it in this way and we can have a relationship in this manner, then I'd be willing to have a relationship with you. Is that possible? Have you seen that in people that you've coached? I hope I'm asking that question the best way.
That's a good question. And I will tell you that I have seen that before, and it will work only if you ask a question before. What did you learn with this breakup? Because what happened most of the time, you receive this text saying like, okay, Jared, I love you. I changed and I really want to be with you. I am waiting for you. Just tell me when it's a good moment for you. But you don't know if I really put the work. You don't know what did I learn exactly. So if you say, what did you learn? Oh, I learned that I love you. Bullshit, right? We say BS, I think so in English. So no, this is bullshit, guys. But if I say, you know what? I read this book, and this book just told me that I was in an avoidant attachment style. And basically, I understood that I didn't give you my best because I was scared to hurt you. When I have explanation, of course, you can rebuild a relationship. But no explanation, this is just bullshit. This is just emotions. Oh, I just want to be with you because finally being by myself single is not a good idea. And 3 weeks after, no, I don't know if I have some feelings for you, blah, 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 you know? So I will ask this question first. Okay, what did you learn, you know? And it's exactly what you've said before. What will you do differently now? So I will ask that person, okay, what kind of relationship do you want now? What will you do differently before we get back together?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Sorry, Laura, you can go.
I think people, they can jump back into it. But I think, like, going on what you said, Alex, I remember having that experience and someone come back and saying, well, I realized I love you. And I thought, well, you didn't realize that before. That's a shame for you. But okay, I love you. And I thought, no, you don't like being hurt that you're on your own. And I don't want someone to choose me because they're afraid to be without me. I want someone to choose me because they really want to be with me. And so it's like taking it from that angle, like 2 spectrums, love or fear, positive or negative. Like, people deserve to be chosen because that person adds value to their life and they want to be with that person. And love isn't enough sometimes. Like, it's not, is it? It's so much more than that. And people deserve to have the best, and they deserve to have someone that wants to be with them because they love them and because they add value and they learn and they grow together, rather than this sort of like, oh, well, I love you. And it's like, well, you just don't like being on your own and you don't like being with yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cover that for you.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
Alex, I just wanted to show this to you real quickly here. You're getting some French love from Anna, right?
Thank you so much, Anna. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, marvelous.
Oh my God. I'm so happy. Thanks so much.
We're just going to go to one more question and then I think we'll wrap it up. Does that sound good to you, Alex?
Yeah, it's good to me. It's good to
All
me.
right.
I hope people understood my French accent. So it's good.
Yeah, no, it's great,
That's
Alex.
good. Okay. I'm trying my best, guys.
Yeah, you're doing wonderful, man. Yeah, I haven't had any trouble understanding it all. It's great. I wish I knew French better, because then we could at least make it a little bit more funner. I'm gonna go to Holly's question here. She says, I came in late, so I don't know if this is off topic, but what's been on my heart lately is the disconnection within female relationships. Why are so many women inwardly hating on each other? So if I'm reading this right, it sounds like she's
Friendship, right? Or is it like love relationship, or friendship, more like female?
I would probably friendship, because as being the only woman in the room, I can tell you that women, if they're not secure in themselves, I actually prefer hanging out with men because they're just so much easier to be around. Women pick at each other, even if they're not doing it verbally. You can feel them doing it energetically. Oh, she's thinner than me, she's curvier than me, she's got longer legs than me, she's got better hair than me. And you can feel women that kind of pick on each other. I think that's what she's referring to. Women do that. It's an insecurity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this question is not easy to respond because I feel the world has changed. For me, I would say that there is a lot of problem with social media. We are always looking at each other. Oh, okay, Jared had a nice haircut, it's quarantine, how is he doing this? I will be jealous of him, right? So basically, I feel it's the same for women. And coaching a lot of women, when we are in a relationship and we see other ladies, we feel that it's a threat for the relationship we are in, So that's why today with social media, with all of everything, crazy stories that we heard about cheating, infidelity, So that's why relationship between women and female, so that will be difficult. So I feel it's not a problem of being a woman. It's more like this world show us a lot of insecurities. So we will not trust ladies. And I have heard this comment, Laura, a lot of women saying like, I prefer to be with men because sometimes they feel that it's just easygoing, it's just easier to be with the opposite sex, basically.
Yeah. Holly says it was platonic relationships. Yeah. So friendships. Yeah. It's funny. There's a big difference. Like if I've noticed if women come to, well, I don't know this, so I'm going to comment with men. If men come together, they talk about like the things that they're creating, and like they compare each other's bank accounts, or they compare each other's businesses, or things like this. And that's about it. But I can, that makes sense, Laura. Like if women get together and they're not maybe confident in themselves or have security within themselves, they start doing what Alex says, is socially comparing. And I know I still get caught up in socially comparing myself, and then I kind of see it, and then I'm like, oh dude, you're just socially comparing yourself. Of course you're going to feel bad when you socially compare yourself. And just for the record, Alex, I did my hair a lot better because I knew that I was talking to you. And
Oh my God, no, stop. Don't do that to me.
so I was like, okay, I'm such a dork when it comes to the French culture. I need to look extra good if I'm interviewing someone from France.
This is fun.
You know
Alex,
what? Going back to the topic of the women. Do you know why women do that? It's because there's an underlying energy in the female collective that they want the man. They need the man. It's like a really ancient energy coding where it's like, we need a man to survive. So if you get a bunch of women that go out on the town, for example, you see it more there. They're like, oh, she's pretty, or she's taller than me. And it's because those types of women are out to date. They're out to get men and hook up or whatever. And there's like an underlying thing that women want to get the guy. And so they knock each other down because they think, oh, she's going to get a guy and I'm not. She's going to get that guy and I'm not because she's taller or she's blonder or whatever. There's like this underlying energy of women still that they want the man.
Okay.
It's like, okay, yeah.
This is good to know.
Like, I mean, I used to do it years and years ago. I wouldn't criticize women, but I compare myself to women. I haven't done that for a very long time. I don't feel any need to, but then I'm not out there trying to find, someone to save me. That's what knight in shining armor. Yeah.
Alex, this is the last question that we always ask before we have anyone leave. What if you were to leave the world today and beam up to wherever you come from, what would be the last message that you would give to humanity?
Wow, that's a good question. Powerful question. I feel that I would say that we all have the power to create the life we want. Not just in relationship, but in every aspect of our life. I realized it because as a French guy coming from, I would say, a modest family, I just came to Miami 4 years ago. I'm pretty successful as a relationship expert. And I just realized that we have the power to create whatever we want, even in a relationship. We can have, and we need to be happy. This is like, we need and we deserve to be happy in every aspect of life. So I would just tell to everyone to listen to what they want and make sure they will do everything they can to live with purpose. That would be my final advice.
I like it, Alex. That's beautiful. Yeah. Alex, thanks so much for taking the time out and being here. We really appreciate your time and energy. It really means a lot.
Thank you so much. It means a lot for me to be on your YouTube channels and doing this live together. That was really, really fun. Thanks so much.
Alex, do you have any programs or anything like that coming up, and where can people find you?
Thanks for asking. So my website is FrenchRelationshipExpert.com. It's also my YouTube channel. I am also part of another YouTube channel called Love Advice TV with Coach Adrian, Coach Natalie, Coach Abby. So you can find us on also withmyexagain.com is a website. So yeah, I have some coaching sessions, still doing one-on-one. And this is what we are doing together as a relationship team.
Beautiful. Guys, if you want to check that out, the YouTube link to Alex's channel is right there in the description box below. So if you really feel called to, check that out as well. Thanks again, Alex. We really appreciate your time and energy. It's been a real gift and pleasure having you on. Really,
it was my pleasure. Thanks to everyone for watching it. I hope you stay safe with this period with quarantine, and also making sure that you will live your dream life even in love. And thanks so much to both of you guys. It was really fun.
It was great. Beautiful. Guys, that's all we got for this time. We will be doing some more interviews next. If you want to stick around for that, check that out. Laura and I are continuing our Sacred Relationship series, and you can check out in the YouTube description box. If you haven't signed up for that, definitely check that out as well too. Thanks so much for coming on, guys, and we'll see you next time. Very nice.